All right. Welcome to the next episode with DJ Crypto. So glad to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of investing in cryptocurrencies. Now, there's always positives and negatives, no matter what you're doing. And so I want to make sure that I give you all the information that I have learned so that you can make an educated decision and avoid pitfalls that I have landed in and others have landed in, starting and learning about cryptocurrencies. So here we go over to our pros and cons. All right, so the pros of investing in cryptocurrencies. First of all, we've got they're new. There's lots of room to grow. So cryptocurrencies have been around, Bitcoin's been around for a little while now, but the real big boom where you've got the media and all kinds of people, your larger population, the younger crowd, the older crowd, getting involved, that's new. You've got countries looking at taking this and making Bitcoin their national currency. You've got countries looking at mining the currencies. People are aware of it. It's all over the news. And because of that, the amount of money that's in this particular industry is really small compared to what it can be. And so it's fairly new, fairly exciting, and it's going to bring a lot of growth. So that's one of the pros. Next, we've got massive movement toward decentralization. So we're seeing a large increase in people wanting out of a centralized system, especially in money. I mean, you look at PayPal, and you've got money going directly to individualized. It's decentralized. It's not, you don't have to go to a single location like a bank to access your money and move it. You can use it how you want, and it's not all stored in one location. And so you've got a movement toward that in all areas. I mean, the internet and everything, people are looking toward decentralization. And that's what Bitcoin does. That's what cryptocurrencies are doing in the blockchain. Large groups and countries getting on board. So as I mentioned before, this helps people see the validity in what's going on. If something is not accepted by the general public and by large groups, people are worried and concerned about it. But because large groups like countries, companies are getting involved, people feel more secure getting involved themselves on an individual level. Next, we've got, there's lots of potential for growth if you do it correctly or you do it right. So what that means is because of the massive movement in this direction, there's lots of money to be made. Lots of movement in the market, and you can really make a lot of money. There's millionaires made weekly here, I mean overnight, literally, in these markets. And so what you can do is if you know how to invest appropriately, so that you're safe and secure, and you're not just throwing your money to the market and crossing your fingers, then there really is a large potential to make some money. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how to implement a good system so that you are protected as you can be inside of an investment. Excellent. All right, and finally here, it's really easy to get started. At first, it can look super complicated because you've got all these technical terms and lots of people talking about digital, currencies and stuff, and that might be challenging. It's really easy to get started. You just need a few guidelines to help you understand what those pieces are that you need to start with. And so my next few videos here are going to be about how to get started, how to make this super easy, and you can be up and running in a matter of 15 minutes and trading and investing in the market. So excellent. Those are the pros. Now here's some of the things to be aware of going in that may not be something that you normally think of when you're getting excited. Most people focus on the excitement, the 0.1%, right? Someone becomes a millionaire overnight. Now everyone can be a millionaire overnight. That's what everyone talks about, right? Whereas the 99.9% of other people aren't having those sort of results. So we're going to talk about the cons of getting involved in cryptocurrency and what you can do to minimize your risk and the things that could possibly negatively impact you through this process. So first of all, there is a potential of large losses if you do it wrong. You see something skyrocketing. You probably heard the rule, buy low, sell high. Well, people generally do the opposite. Even though they know the rule, they see something going up and they go, oh, I want on that train. And they jump in when it's at a high point, and then it goes down, and now they've just lost money. So there is potential for large losses if you're not playing by a smart system. We'll talk about how to avoid that later. Next, because it's an industry that's booming right now, that is just out of control exciting, there are lots of scams and people taking advantage of others. Whenever you have something new and exciting that isn't regulated, you get people who take advantage of other people because they see opportunity to make money. So I'll also have a video coming up soon that talks about how to spot a scam, how do you avoid them so that you're really getting involved in legitimate markets, in legitimate investments, so that you don't get taken advantage of. So this is a potential here, just be aware of it, and if you play it smart, you can avoid them altogether. Next, the future of cryptocurrencies is unknown. It's a totally brand new technology that's being implemented all over the world, but really it's unknown, just like any investment, right? And so you get in expecting high results. You've got to be aware that there's risk involved as well, that really anything could happen. Not that I'm saying it will, but Bitcoin could disappear tomorrow. It could fall face the planet. So you've got to be aware that there are risks involved in investing, and the unknown is one of those things that keeps it volatile and keeps it exciting. So that's another one of the cons. With Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it can be really hard to understand. There's so much information. The more I've gotten involved, it's one of those things, the more you see, the less you know. That's how I felt through my journey of cryptocurrencies. Is at first it was like, oh, awesome, a market where I can make money. And then I learned what a blockchain was, and then I learned what decentralization was, and then I learned what an ICO was, and oh my gosh, there's so much information. Don't burden yourself with that. That's generally what keeps people away from getting involved, because they're scared or they feel overwhelmed. If you take this one step at a time, as I'm going to show you, and just follow the instruction of how to start investing and how to start learning, all of this information you'll start to learn over time, and it won't feel overwhelming. Because I know that's how a lot of people feel at the beginning. You don't have to feel that way, and you can avoid this pitfall of losing out or feeling like you're not being involved because you don't understand. So just listen to my next few videos, and then we'll talk about this, and we'll move past it. And finally, they can be difficult to manage. So what that means is that you've got lots of different opportunities in cryptocurrencies, lots of them. We'll talk about how to invest in cryptocurrencies in the next video and the different forms of investment in cryptocurrencies. If you get into the more advanced form of cryptocurrency investments into like ICOs and doing a lot of exchange trading, you can really have your money in a lot of different locations. And when you've got a lot of different locations, it can be hard to manage that, right? Like, oh my gosh, I've got 17 different accounts with different amounts of money, and it can be challenging. So that's one possible downside of investing in the cryptocurrency market. Again, there are tools that you can utilize to reduce the issues here, reduce the problems, and we'll talk about that as well. So I just want to give you kind of an overview of why would you want to get involved, and why do some people avoid it? Because if you don't know, you can't make an educated decision. So I sure hope that helped. I sure hope that you gained a lot from that. Thank you so much for watching this episode of DJ Crypto. Please subscribe below so that we can you can continue learning and learn how to invest your money safely so that you can really see some amazing gains in your investments here. Also, leave in the comment box if you've done some investments and some work with cryptocurrencies. What are some of your pros and cons that you've seen moving throughout your investment career here with cryptocurrencies? All right, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.